Hello, fellow citizens of the United Kingdom of Great Britain, Ireland, Scotland, Google and Coca-Cola. The date is the 15th of June 2026. And here for you on the 15th of June 2026 is the news, specifically the news regarding events that have happened today, the 15th of June 2026.
Tonight on Not the 30-Year-Old News, school children across London gather to wish happy birthday to beloved bespectacled music teacher.
Professional Carl Pilkington lookalike and fair trials advocate welcomes what he calls a fairly trying Big 4-0.
Teenage heartthrob and lead singer of internationally renowned band Childcare celebrates his birthday at star-studded 40th Bash.
And second-generation immigrant from Wimbledon reaches his 5th decade. Hello and welcome to the Not the 30-Year-Old News. I'm Michael Crompton.
And I'm Kate Cooper-Owen. Also tonight, herpes. Could we have found patient zero?
Barbecues. How many is too many? We explore the warning signs that you might be a grillaholic.
We have an exclusive clip of the latest actor to play Spider-Man, who's dividing critics and fans alike.
Do you know it could be the new Spider-Man?
You got the part, mate.
Because especially things.
What are you doing?
But first, to our main stories this evening. And we start on a sad note, as it's been confirmed by Beijing National Zoo that Lady Olive, the last known ostrich in the world, has died.
Terrible news indeed, as it sees the beautiful prehistoric creature consigned to the long list of species that have met their demise during the reign of humankind.
Olive, like so many of her kin, was said by her keepers to be full of life in every aspect, but just seemed to lack any drive to mate.
Yes, although the key difference in the case of the ostrich as opposed to the long-extinct panda was that in the case of the ostrich, the total lack of willingness to procreate seems to be a learned or acquired behaviour.
South African zoologists have tracked it back to a period in 2014 when the birds mysteriously seemed to lose their pluck.
Here, for example, you can see Al Mick, Great Britain's biggest medal prospect for the Ugandan 2028 Olympics, before he started his meteoric rise, becoming the UK's top breaststroker, literally riding on the back of one of the majestic birds.
Lean back, backwards.
The scientists are continuing their study in case lessons can be learned for the future, but sadly it is too late for Olive and her fallen kind. I believe we have some reaction to that footage from someone that knows Al very well, his nephew, Jack Mick.
Why do you think Uncle Al likes riding ostriches so much?
A truly sad story. Now, remember Ian Dudfield, more commonly known as I Am Dudfield? Well, he's the latest to throw his lot into the identity debate.
That's right, Kate. Deciding now that his skin is so dark and his moves so smooth that he can no longer identify with his Essex roots, Ian now insists that he most naturally belongs to the Caribbean island of Jamaica.
Mr. I Am commented that he has always known deep down that he is Caribbean. It just took a few summers of cycling and dossing around in the garden for him to realise his heritage. He said, and I quote, "Me be totally de Rastafari, Irie Itel sounds." I Am has been embraced by the Rastafarian community and has taken over as Grand Quizmaster Flash.
They better be ready for the quiz of their lives.
Onlookers were heard to comment that he was a natural Natty Congo.
Well, let's hear from some people who know him very well, the children he used to look after when he was a nanny.
I hear Ian's really good at accents. I personally have never heard them because he obviously saves them for you. So, are they good?
They're really funny and I always laugh at them. He's so good at his Jamaican one. I absolutely love it. Domegon! Domegon!
Now, we know him as the entertainment media giant that can bring kings and presidents to their knees with his unique blend of music, comedy and savage political satire.
When all of your poos and all of my poos are lined out one by one.
But for Joe Clark, things weren't always this way.
Yes, indeed. From relatively humble beginnings, the Ipswich-born lad was always a bit of a dreamer. In fact, at the age of 7, his parents had to have him tested to see if he had perhaps fallen into some sort of light coma. The young Joe Clark headed to Leeds University, where he struck up a friendship with future podcast partner, one Mr. Michael Crompton. Crompton, who is described by many as both the brains and the looks of the duo.
And by others as a bit of a Nazi pedo ballbag.
The absurdly brilliant Crompton suggested they make a news-related musical comedy podcast, and Our Singing About was born.
Michael and Joe are singing about a story today for you.
It's hard to fathom a time when Our Singing About was not with us. Now the show has its own TV channel, newspaper, blimp, coffee, web series, airline and newspaper and football team. It's been described as the Beatles of the podcast world. We've been in touch with a member of Joe's family to see just how proud they are of the famous man.
Well, isn't that sweet? Our Singing About grew so successful, of course, that when Mr. Clark got drunk back in 2019 and cried out that his podcast was bigger than God, the Pope's response was simply to say, I agree.
But while Joe Clark is often seen rubbing shoulders with the world's brightest and most beautiful, what of Mr. Crompton? We went to Norwich City Centre to find the man himself.
Are you Michael Crompton? I'm not sure if we should continue filming. Do you know Michael Crompton? I don't.
Oh, look. It's one of Joe Clark's blimps.
Yeah, is it true you used to work with him?
I used to work with him.
Well, there you have it. The tale of one man's rise and another's fall. Joe Clark, wherever you are, be it riding your space blimp to the stars or just sitting back with a lovely pint of ale, here at Not the 30-Year-Old News, we'd like to wish you a very happy birthday.
Sticking with the theme of falling from grace, it's time for our special report on one of the strangest ends to a pop career the world has ever seen.
That's right. After rocketing to fame in the pop outfit Bastille, it seemed for Dan Smith, the second-generation immigrant heralding from Wimbledon, that the world was well and truly his oyster.
But, like for so many of us whose shellfish allergies hit fast and hard in our 30s, Dan grew tired of the fame and constant attention.
Things have gone from bad to worse for the band of late. It began with Dan starting to fall off the stage, hitting bum notes in public, writing suicidally bad songs,
If a burglar came and had company and
before spiralling into him doing bizarre covers of his own song as a badly disguised busker. And after critics panned his most recent track...
What do you think, Finley?
he knew it was time to pack it in.
Truly strange. So, in order to successfully escape the public eye, Dan asked his good friend Danny to don a black wig and switch lives with him. Mr. Smith tried to slip back into obscurity, but all did not go to plan.
I don't really know what he was thinking. I mean, we don't even really look alike. I think it was solely based on the fact that we have the same name. That was it. So, anyway, I went out on stage. The crowd obviously knew immediately. But they waited, I guess, thinking Dan was going to come out any minute. But obviously he's not there. So after a while, I started singing, like, oh, oh, and then it hit me. I was like, I don't know any of the other words.
Not knowing what else to do, the band and this fake Dan sung the phrase A-A-O-A-O for 3 hours in a performance described by some as the most daring set ever performed since John Cage's 4 minutes and 33 seconds.
And by most other people as a bit shit.
Well, despite being famously private about his family, we've tracked one member down to give us the inside scoop on the Big Quiff star.
Can you tell us what you think of your Uncle Dan, please?
What do you reckon?
And now for a more detailed look at tonight's top stories, we've sent our roving reporter, Sophie Foster, out onto the streets of Britain to find out more.
So what of the real Alexander Mick? Well, born in 1986 in the conservative stronghold of Grantham, Mr. Mick spent much of his early life here.
Daddy! Daddy!
Sharing time between packing dog food into cans by day and stacking the shelves at Sainsbury's by night. Well, I've come back to the town to see what some of its most famous residents make of their 40-year-old evergreen. So, yeah, we're very privileged to be actually in the company of Baroness Thatcher. So, Baroness, just tell us a little more about Alexander.
Well, I remember when he was a young boy in Grantham, growing up. He was a great believer in the Conservative Party. He famously read the Daily Mail before he could talk. And as you can see here, he was a good friend of mine. We had the same values, the same good British conservative values.
Contrary to what he'd have you believe, with talk of double-barrelled villages and coastal bolt-holes, Ian in fact grew up in Essex. So I've come to the land of fake tans and Towie to explore his suspiciously blonde roots.
Alright, darling, how's it going? You alright?
Hi there, what's your name?
Mine's Billy.
And I believe you knew...
What's his name?
I believe you knew Ian Dudfield growing up.
Yeah, my old mate Ian, Teddy Ian, Teddy Ted, Ian Ted. Yeah, he's my best mate, mate. We come back from Essex, didn't I? We've been on loads of native bike rides together. I've been to Malagaffe, I've been to Fallaroof, I've been to Ibiza with him. We've had all sorts of naked stuff, me and Ian.
He's amazing. He's like the best nanny ever, and he's just like amazing. He's like the most amazing thing ever.
Josh, is that ditto?
After two.
Is that what you got to say, guys?
Yeah, but can I just say, Ian, you're like the most amazing nanny. You should really be proud of your work you've done.
Think Joe Clark and you might think sharp-suited metropolitan man. But things haven't always been this way. Before Joe turned 40, he lived in the wilds of Suffolk, where I've come to find out more about his early life. So I've come to leafy Suffolk and I'm struggling to find Joe's old friend, actually. Oh, hello.
Right.
Oh, hi there. What's your name?
Bob.
Hi, Bob.
Yeah.
So what was Joe like growing up?
He's a runner, he got his mug, he's a bit of a dickhead, actually.
What do you think about Uncle Joe?
Oh. Now sadly, not the 30-year-old news lacks the budget to fly its prize-winning reporters to other countries. So rather than heading to South Africa to find out what young Dan did during summers on the Cape, we've had to come to London, where this second-generation migrant tried to carve a life for himself in the capital.
Awesome, built on. We want some beers and some wines, you know? Great South African ones. Anyway, what do you want to know about Dan?
Just, what was he like as a person growing up?
Keith, man, you know? When we were in South Africa, I used to go in the bush with him all the time, you know? We'd get the rhino, we'd get the snake, we'd get the zebra. But then he left and went to London, and I never saw him again. I tell you what, though, there was this one time when I did go to the UK. You know, Dan, he loves to brag, you know? But perhaps a little bit too much, if you know what I'm saying. So there's this time when we had like 5 barbecues and we were a bit concerned about his health.
Insightful stuff.
Now it's time to see whether it'll be withering in Wetherby or whether it'll be wuthering wherever you are.
That's right, Kate. It's time for everyone's favourite forecaster, the mellifluous meteorologist, who certainly knows her way around a weathercock. It's Aileen.
Good evening. Well, I can't see through my hair. Things are really going to be changeable this evening, with lots of hot, moist air making its way up from the south, leading to outbreaks of fierce wind everywhere, with frequent gusts likely, some up to 60 miles an hour. It will be very difficult to see the stars later, with the biggest star of all being almost totally obscured for much of the night under a big, fluffy, cumulonimbus cloud. Well, he does need at least 12 hours a night, although if I were with him, I'm sure he'd come out and shine some light all over me. Staying with the weather overnight, there will be a full moon. Reports that the man in the moon has become an alcoholic have been coming in since his last appearance in our skies some time ago. However, we can assure you that the white-faced, perfectly round-headed loon has himself been in touch to state that he is a reformed character and will be on the straight and narrow from now on. Finally, tomorrow should start brightly and indeed may be barbecue weather. By midday, however, it's likely the sun will be almost totally obscured in a freak total eclipse caused, I'm told, not by the moon, but instead by hair. And that's the weather.
Thanks, Aileen, you big slutty whore.
Well, that's all for Not the 30-Year-Old News. Until next time.
See you later, bitches.
A long blooper reel. Yes, although in this case, the key difference to the... Oh, bollocks.
Now, as we know him... Oh, fuck off. Yes, that's right. Oh, fuck, I've gone back. I can't get the thing right. It seemed for Dan Smith, the second-generation immigrant. Fuck. Joe Clark, wherever you are, oh, fuck me, sorry. That Lady Olive, the last known Austrian... Fuck, Sophie, I just heard you laughing, sorry.
It's not the 9 o'clock, 30, whatever.
You idiot. All the way to the end.
Oh, God, this is going to be so hard.
We have to go back.
How do you rewind? Mr. Smith tried to slip back into it. Oh, for fuck's sake. I am bad at this, aren't I? Soz, guys.
All right. Can't all be like me.
Yes. But in this case, the key difference in this case, as opposed to the long extinct panda, was that in the case of the Austrian fuck.
So many cases.
How many cases are there?
Wait, just redo it a little bit.
I'll just do it again, sorry. Before he started his meteoric...
Fuck me, Mike, you're so shit at
it. Why can't I read? So, in order to successfully escape... Oh, sorry, I'll start that again.
All right.
Nearly got it out.
He said, and I quote, "Me be totally de Rastafari, Irie Itel sounds." So embarrassing. I can't believe you made me do that. Oh, fuck's sake. Okay,
it's fine.
We're fine, right?
Well, let's hear from some people that know him very well. The children he used to look after when he was a nanny. Whatever their names are.
Do that again.
It's Aileen. Is she here? It's Aileen.
Good evening. Well, I can't see through my hair. Things are really going to be changeable this evening, with lots of hot, moist air making its way up from the south, leading to outbreaks of fierce wind everywhere, with frequent gusts likely, some up to 60 miles an hour.
Happy birthday, Uncle! Happy birthday, Uncle!
Charlie! Say happy birthday, Ian! Happy birthday, Ian! Charlie! Happy birthday, Ian! Happy birthday, Ian! Happy birthday! What are you doing?